Hey guys, it's December the 16th, 2024, and I hope everybody's been having a great day so far. I hope everybody's week is starting off well today. Just want to start off today's video and just say, guys, I'm sorry, but I have yet to get to the comments from Saturday's video or yesterday's video yet. I had a really busy day yesterday. I had to go have an eye exam done, and that took a long time to do. I went to Lens Crafters. Surprisingly, they were open on Sunday. I went in to speak to them on Saturday, and they said, we can fit you in tomorrow if you can come. Otherwise, it's going to be the end of January before we can get you back in. I said, fine, I'll be here tomorrow. So yesterday I had that to do, and then, of course, hanging out with the family. And then today I had a dentist appointment, and I had to go see my therapist today as well. I'm just getting home. I think it's about 3:30 right now. But I plan on getting to the comments here after I get finished doing this video. So just hang tight. I'm sure this video won't get up until later on tonight anyway. Hopefully I've gotten to the comments by then. But while I was at the therapist today, it gave me an idea for today's video. And I'm not going to get too deep in detail about what the therapist and I were talking about, but we were having a conversation, and of course, part of my therapy is going to be discussing, my AUD and, my addiction and the problems that it's caused in my life. And, another big topic of conversation is, the fact that I'm afraid of, what's going to happen here, with my health. I just don't know, and it's frightening. And, there's a lot of fear that's involved in that. And, I'm talking to a therapist, trying to better myself. And, part of the conversation that we were having was about, like I said, my AUD and how I beat myself up sometimes about it. And, I was talking to the therapist about, some things in my life, and he stopped me and he said, you gotta stop. Stop beating yourself up. He said, there's no time machine. We can't go back in time and change it. What happened in the past is in the past. One of the things is I come on here every single day and talk with you guys and, try to bring a little bit of motivation and try to help people. And that's great. But sometimes, even myself, I might preach it, but I don't do it sometimes. It's one of those things, do what I say, but don't do what I do. I can beat myself up and get myself down if I start thinking about stuff too hard, especially my health. And, like I said, he told me, there's no time machine. You can't go back in time and change it. What's in the past is in the past, and just leave it there. He said, you haven't drank in quite a while, right? And I said, no. And he said, well, you're doing everything that you can, right, to better your health, and you're trying to live as long as you possibly can and be there for your family, right? And I told him, well, of course I am. He said, well, then you're doing what you need to do and just leave the past in the past. And then he said something that just struck home with me, because it's something that I say on here all the time. And he said, this isn't your fault. You didn't seek out to become addicted to alcohol and to have AUDs. And, after I left the appointment today, I was on the way home, and I was just kind of thinking about what I wanted to talk about today in today's video. And I said, I'm going to talk about that today, because even, my therapist was saying, this isn't your fault. And it's one of those things I say on here all the time. This isn't your fault. None of us sought out to become addicts of any sort, whether it be addicted to alcohol, drugs, gambling, pornography, whatever it is. None of us set out and said, you know what, I think I'm going to become addicted to a substance or, some other thing. That's not the way it works. We found something, we discovered something, and we found out that we liked it, especially alcohol. We had that first drink, and, not all of us enjoyed our first drink. I did. From the moment that I had my first drink, I knew right then that I liked it a lot. And the way that it made me feel, I'll just never forget that feeling. I'll never forget that warm, fuzzy feeling that I got. I mean, it was like I just got a big hug. And it helped me break out of my shell and just not feel so shy. I felt like I was able to talk to people easier. It just helped me open up, and it helped numb a lot of the feelings that I had, and I just fell in love with that. But once again, I always told myself this is not going to be a problem. I can stop whenever I want to. I told myself that for years. There was always this idea in the back of my head that I can stop tomorrow if I want. I mean, I can do it. And then after trying over and over and over again, I finally realized that I just couldn't do it on my own. I just couldn't. It wasn't until I got sick and went through a medical detox that I finally could stop drinking. And that's just the honest God truth, guys. I tried quitting so many times. Maybe the furthest I got out was maybe 2 weeks, and always relapsed because I always allowed that person on my shoulder to tell me that it was going to be okay, that I could have a couple of beers, that I would be able to drink, and I would be able to manage it and drink on a Friday or Saturday night or whatever the night was. But, I told myself, if you could drink like 1 or 2 days a week, drink on your days off or whatever it is, I always told myself that one day I'll just stop drinking like this and I'll go to a controlled method of drinking, which is absolutely ridiculous. But, once again, this isn't your fault. This isn't my fault. We didn't set out to have AUD or become addicted to anything. It's something that just happens. Unfortunately, the feeling that you get is addictive. No one says, wakes up one day and goes, you know what, I want to have AUD or be an alcoholic or whatever you want to call it. And we were actually talking, and he because I said, I'm an alcoholic, and he stopped me and said, we don't use that term anymore. And I said, yeah, I know, we use the term AUD. And he said, no, actually, in the therapy world, that they use something like a person that's in recovery or something like that. I can't remember how he named it. But they don't even use the term AUD, I guess, in therapy any longer, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there. But, once again, I never said that that's what I want to become. I never said that I wanted to wake up every single morning and throw up first thing. I never said that I wanted to end up drinking a half a gallon of vodka every single day. I never said that I wanted to have alcohol controlling every single aspect of my life, almost wrecking my marriage, almost making me lose my children. Almost losing my life because of the substance, potentially almost losing my job, just destroying my life in every single angle that it could. I was completely enslaved to the alcohol. Every single aspect of my life revolved around alcohol. I thought about alcohol all day long. From the moment that I woke up in the morning, that was the first thought on my mind, is I need to go pour myself a drink to feel better. Because as soon as I woke up in the morning, I felt like absolute trash. I mean, I really did. I felt horrible every day. I would wake up, I would go downstairs. In our old house, I would go to our spare bathroom, and the first thing I would do, or I'd go outside, and I would vomit every day. Who wants to do that? Nobody seeks out to do that. And, any of you guys out there who are dealing with this as well, you didn't seek out to end up this way. You just didn't. This isn't something that people inspire to be like. It just happens. And it's unfortunate, but it's just a fact of life. And I don't know. It just really struck home when he said that today, and reassured me, because sometimes I need reassurance, that I didn't ask for this, because I didn't. I really didn't, and neither did any of you. So, just like the therapist told me today, give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up. This isn't your fault. Alcohol is so addictive. I think it's probably the most addictive drug in the world, in my opinion. And I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it is. The thing with alcohol is that I was just watching a movie the other night. I can't remember what the heck I was watching, but they were talking about alcohol. And speaking of it, there is a movie that my wife and I watched the other night, and I was absolutely blown away by how good it is. I found it on Amazon Prime, and it's directed by Zoe Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz's daughter is the director of the movie, and it's got gosh, I can't remember that guy's name. It's got a bunch of famous people in it, and I don't want to spoil the movie. I'll see if I can't remember the name of it or look it up, and I'll post it as a pinned comment in the comment section so you guys can go check it out. I think I paid like $1.74 to rent it. I cannot recommend a movie. Now, I will be. I'm going to tell you there is a trigger warning. There's a lot of drug usage. There is drinking in the movie. They are using mushrooms and stuff like that in the movie. But man, talk about a plot twist. I was absolutely enthralled by this movie, blown away by how good it is. Even my wife was like, that's the best movie I've seen in a long time. I will find out what it is and pin it in the comments for you guys so y'all can check it out. But once again, I cannot recommend a good enough movie for you guys. But I think that's the movie that we were watching where they were talking about alcohol. And how alcohol is so, it's so hard to quit. And it's so easy to get addicted to because it's so socially acceptable. Alcohol is everywhere you look. Speaking of that, the night that we watched that movie, my wife counted with me. There were 8, and I repeat, 8 alcohol commercials, liquor commercials. In the commercial breaks, because we were watching Amazon Prime, and we had to watch commercials. Why? And I paid for the movie. I don't know why there were commercials in it. Maybe, actually, you know what? I think it was the night that we were watching National Lampoons that the commercials were happening. It was National Lampoon. But the night that we were watching National Lampoon, in the commercial breaks, because we pay for Max, but we don't pay for like the super big plan. It's like we have the cheapest plan that you can get, and we have to watch commercials. But 8 commercials for liquor, and I'm not kidding. In one movie, every single commercial break that we watched, every single one, there was a liquor commercial in every single commercial break. And they would play like 2 commercials. There was one where there was 2 alcohol commercials in one break. So they played 2 commercials. The first one was for a liquor, and the second one's for a liquor as well. And of course, they're pushing it because it's the holidays, and they were saying, give the gift, blah, blah, blah. It was some kind of bourbon. But that's the thing, alcohol is everywhere. It's socially acceptable, a majority of people drink, and that's just the way it is. Majority of people drink. Most places you go, there's alcohol. Any restaurant that you go to just about has alcohol. It's everywhere you go. You go to the grocery store, there's alcohol. You go to the gas station, there's alcohol. Your friends, your boss drinks. It's so hard to get away from. And, it's one of those things to where they were talking about how, if a person is on drugs, let's say that, methamphetamines are your deal. And I'm not saying that one is easier to quit than the other or anything like that. I'm just talking about the social acceptability and getting away from that substance. But if you're addicted to methamphetamines, for instance, that's not something that you can walk into your Walgreens and purchase off the shelf. That's one of those things that you have to know somebody or either make it yourself or whatever. But, most people, they go to somebody for it. But once you decide, okay, I'm going to stop using this, you go in your contacts list, remove all those people out of there so you don't, you can't contact them anymore. If you just delete them out, you don't memorize numbers like that, it's gone. Unless you drive down that street where that person lives, you can avoid that stuff. And once you cut that out of your life and you remove those people out of your life and you get away from that scene and that crowd, it's gone. You might run into it here and there or something like that. There might be some triggers in a movie, or maybe you might see some paraphernalia on the ground somewhere or something like that. But it's not in every single store. It's not in every single restaurant. People, if you go into the Christmas party, everybody's not doing that. People are drinking, and it's just everywhere. So once again, this is the most socially accepted substance on earth, worldwide. Alcohol is the most socially accepted drug, and a lot of people use it, and it's one of those things that where it's almost like a rite of passage when you turn 21 is to go out and get completely smashed. I remember when I was about to turn 21, I couldn't wait because I could legally go and buy my own alcohol. And, it's one of those things that we just look forward to. And I'm not saying everybody, but I know a lot of people do look forward to turning 21 so they can go out and drink legally. And then next thing you know, you're hanging out at the bars a whole lot when you're 21 years old. It doesn't take long to get a dependence on it. And if you find that you're using it in, social situations where it helps loosen you up a little bit, or, you try to use it for a meeting that you have to go to for work, and you have a drink really quick before you go into your meeting, and you got to get up and speak in front of a bunch of people. And man, does it make it a heck of a lot easier to do that when you do? Because that's what I would do. I used to have to go to meetings like once a week, and I would have to get up and speak in front of all the general managers. And it was, it would give me a lot of anxiety because there were like a bunch of people in there. I'm not talking about like 10 people. There was like, 100 people in the room. And I'd have to get up and talk, and we'd have to reenact stuff and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I would, have a drink before I would go in there just to help me relax, because I knew that it was going to be so, it was going to give me so much anxiety when I would go in there. And man, it didn't take long of me doing that a couple times to go, well, this works. So, if it works, no reason to fix it. I'm going to keep doing it. And that just became the norm. Now I have to go drive across town to this other place. It's going to be a 45-minute hour drive or something, and driving gives me anxiety. So what do? I drink to get rid of the anxiety. I always had anxiety about everything. And the funny thing is that when I removed alcohol out of my life, I'm not going to say in the beginning it was super easy, because it's not like it just magically went away like that. But over time, after removing the alcohol, my anxiety just started going away. And I'm not saying that I don't get anxiety anymore, because that's not true at all. But my anxiety really did go down after I stopped drinking. The alcohol was making me anxious. To the point that I was scared to drive anywhere. I've spoken about this so many times. For any new subscribers here, I wouldn't even get into the left turning lane at a stoplight because I was afraid I was going to pass out or something if I did. And I didn't want to get stuck in the middle of an intersection. I was afraid that I was going to pass out, my foot was going to slip off the brake pedal, and I was going to pull out into the middle of the intersection and get smashed. I would have to turn the air conditioner all the way up to high, as cold as possible. It'd be the middle of the winter time, and I'd have the air conditioner blowing. My hands are on the steering wheel. My knuckles would turn white because I was squeezing it so hard. I was sweating profusely, and in the middle of winter, windows are down, air conditioner's blowing, I'm squeezing the steering wheel, seat all the way up to the fullest position, up as far as I could, because I felt like I couldn't see. Man, just thinking back to those times, I would take every single back road that I could to avoid main roads because I had such bad anxiety when I drove. I stopped drinking. I can drive anywhere now. It doesn't bother me one bit. Not one bit. I'm not scared to drive at all. The alcohol was causing me to have anxiety, but that's a talk for another day. But anyway, guys, the point of today's video is that don't beat yourself up. You know, if you're not beating yourself up, then that's good. But if you are beating yourself up, you're constantly just talking badly to yourself or whatever, or you feel bad about yourself because you got into this situation. Once again, it's not your fault. You did not seek this out. It just happens. And unfortunately, it happens to a lot of us. There are far more people out there with AUD than you probably would ever imagine. So many people that are hiding in the closet with their addiction because they don't know where to turn and they don't know how to stop. And they're either embarrassed or they don't know where to go to get help. They don't want to tell anybody they have a problem. I was there. I know what it's like. You know, people are afraid to go to a rehab facility because they don't want to tell their boss that, they've got a problem with alcohol and that they need to take time off of work to go do that. I get it. You're afraid you're going to lose your job and, they're going to think differently of you or something like that. Not saying that they will, but, that's what goes through our heads. But do yourself a favor today and don't beat yourself up at all. Just remember, this happens to a lot of people. The alcohol is really slick. I mean, it tricks us because it really does work in the beginning. And over a period of time, before you know it, you're hooked and it's got you. And then you are where I was at, My drinking got completely out of control. And like I said, when I woke up in the morning, it was the first thing I thought about. I'd go throw up, make myself a drink, and then start my day. I was already drinking liquor, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's how I started my day off. And the whole entire day I went like that. Whenever I could fit a drink in, that's all I thought about. When can I fit another drink in really quick? When can I sneak off to the bathroom outside so I can take this shooter? When can I run off to the freezer real fast so I can run in there and take a shooter? I mean, it got to that point. That's all I thought about. I obsessed completely over alcohol. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hang it up for today and get off of here. I need to get off and try to get this video edited and uploaded so I can get to these comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. And one last time, it's not your fault. It really is not. Don't beat yourself up. It just happens. And all we have is today. Tomorrow's not promised and yesterday's already gone. Live in today. And, if you can make a change today, do it. If you're watching this right now and you're thinking about stopping, speak to a doctor first. But everything happens one step at a time. Everything. But you got to make that first step. So, guys, I love y'all so much. And until tomorrow, I will see y'all then. Have a great rest of your day.